Today is July 25th, 2012, and we are interviewing Richard Maaks at the Bloomington, Illinois Armory. Mr. Maaks is 64 years old, having been born on March 26, 1948. My name is Sarah Ingalls. I'll be the interviewer. Mr. Maaks, could you state for the recording what war and branch of service you served in?
United States Army and during the Vietnam War.
And what was your rank?
Final rank was E4.
And where did you serve again?
In Vietnam.
And what was your job or assignments?
Mine was infantry.
Let's see. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Purple Heart.
Can you share any battle planning with us?
No.
Okay. Well, let's look at the personal life, while you were serving. How did you get along with the officers?
Very well. Well-educated officers and respectful. And
how about your fellow soldiers?
Fine troops, worried about the mission, is mainly in Vietnam and stuff.
And what kind of men served with you? Were they older, younger? Do you remember?
Most of them, I was 21 when I was in Vietnam. Most of them were younger veterans, 18, 19-year-olds.
Okay. Did you feel pressure, stress, anxiety during your service?
While I was in Vietnam, it was very stressful, but otherwise, no.
Yeah. Were there certain situations that were more stressful than others?
Well, actually, I was out in the field, out in the jungles most of the time. In fact, I was only there in Vietnam for 48 days, and then I got wounded and sent back, and spent 11 months in the hospital after I got back. But most of it was out in the field, so that was very stressful. Most of the time, it was just in the jungles, didn't know where you were or anything. So,
can you describe maybe a typical day in the jungle? It's probably different every day, but
mostly getting up in the morning, having a little bit of breakfast, having some sea rations, getting ready to move out, and then we'd walk through the jungle, and it varied from day to day. Some days you'd walk maybe a click or two. Other days you might be flown in a helicopter out to a new position, but other than that, it was just out in the field all the time. So,
was there did you get into a lot of action, or was there a lot of waiting around?
A lot of waiting around for me. There were few actions while I was over there. Like I said, I was only there 48 days, so I didn't get to see a whole lot of the countryside or anything. But.
Okay. Did you keep a personal diary of any sort?
No, I did not.
Okay. And can you tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences while you were there?
Mostly the day I was shot. We were out in the field, and I was guarding the helicopters that they were flying in. They was resupplying us with food and ammunition and water, which was a basic there because, it was so hot and stuff. You had to have a lot of water and stuff. But and I was guarding around the perimeter of the helicopters coming in. And that day is when I got shot. I happened to be writing a letter back home, and I didn't get to keep the letter, but there was blood on it. Remember, I was writing the letter, and I remember waking up, and I seen the letter, and there was blood on it, and I couldn't understand why there was blood on the letter. I looked at my fingers and stuff, and everything was fine, and I started looking at my arm, and there was just blood running all over the place. So,
well, seems like you were able to stay in touch with your family.
Oh, yes.
Pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, mostly through mail.
Mail, right. And after I was wounded, of course, correspondence for me, I didn't get to correspond with my parents except until I got back to the States. I was actually in Vietnam in a evacuation center there for about a week, and then they shipped me to Tachikawa, Japan. and I spent almost 2.5 months there. And of course, the Department of Defense let my parents know, and they still have the Western Union note that said I was wounded and that I was being moved to Japan and stuff. So,
did you have anything on you for good luck? Any good luck charms or?
no, I did not.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, let's see. What about supplies? Did you have plenty of those?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We always had plenty of ammunition. Like I said, they resupplied us about every 3, 4, 5 days, something like that. Now, actually, this day they were resupplying us with hot food, which was unusual out in the field. Normally, you carried your C rations, and you might not get hot food for 3 or 4 days. So you carried most of your food and water and everything with you, but the water was the main thing. They'd have to almost bring water to you every day, and then you carried 2 or 3 canteens of water and stuff too, and then you'd have refills during the day and stuff too. But
okay. Let's see. So what was the food like? The C rations and whatnot?
I can't say it was excellent. It served their purpose.
Yeah.
It served the purpose of nutrition, etc. I mean, it was C rations are good to a point because you're hungry, but other than that, it's not the best thing in the world.
Okay, so what did you do to entertain yourself during the down times and?
Normally they kept us pretty busy, now like in the afternoons, you'd start digging your foxhole in the afternoons, late afternoons and stuff. And of course, there was always times you had downtime, but usually writing letters or something like that. Of course, out in the field, there's not too much to do. Some of the ones that were in the back areas, had movies and stuff to do, bars to go to or whatever. We didn't have that out in the field, so.
Okay. Let's see. Were there any entertainers that came to see your units at all? Do you remember?
No.
While you were there anyway?
No.
Did you travel while in the service?
Just for military purposes. Just when I would have a duty station, I would travel. Or when I went to Vietnam, I flew out of Oakland Army Base in Oakland, and of course you had to fly most of to get to the areas and stuff. So.
Okay. Do you recall any particular humorous or unusual event?
No, not particularly.
Okay, like were any pranks you would pull with your fellow officers, or
No.
or fellow soldiers even?
No.
So, let's see. After the war, do you recall the day your service ended then?
Yes, December 7th, 1970. Actually, I got an early out. I was drafted into the military, and I was only supposed to spend back then it was 2 years. But I got an early out to go back to increase my education at college. I got time out simply because I'd been to Vietnam and stuff, and they weren't going to send me anywhere else because my time was getting short and stuff. So.
Okay. Did you use the GI Bill to get your education
Yes.
done? Right. Where did you go back to school?
Southern Illinois University.
Right. And so, what exactly did you go for? What kind of career did you pursue there?
Actually, I went to school there, mechanical engineering, but I dropped out after 3 semesters. I couldn't handle the being back from war to civilian life. It was just a strange transition from one to the other, and I just couldn't. And I ended up finding a job after I did that. So.
Sure. Now, when your service ended, where were you discharged at?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
And had the war come to an end yet? Or
No.
Okay.
No, it didn't end until 1975.
Yeah.
And I was out in 70. So.
Okay. And were there others discharged with you, or was it only you? Or?
Just me at that point.
Okay. Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
I made a few of them after I got back from Vietnam. I made one in basic training, and we went through AIT together, infantry training. He was from Raymond, Illinois, but I haven't stayed in touch with him for over 20 years now. But now there was another one at Fort Leonard Wood, but I haven't seen him in 20 years either. So.
Right, right. Do you go back to any reunions or
No,
anything? Yeah.
no.
Okay. Let's see. Did you join a veterans organization?
I belong to the VFW and the Disabled American Veterans.
Okay. And what kinds of activities do they do?
Those veterans organizations?
Yes.
We just stay in contact with the service organizations that go to nursing homes and serve troops, you know, if they happen to be in the area and stuff like that, or need people for different occasions that are going on, special occasions or something like that.
And like community service,
Yeah.
things like that.
Community service.
Okay. How has the service and experiences you had while you served, how has that affected your life, you think?
It's given me some responsibility and respect for other people. I think that I really gained a lot of that while in service because I was pretty much a hellraiser before going in, and that soon got out of me real quick in the military.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it was the discipline, or was it more the battle experience?
The discipline. Discipline.
And did your military experience, did that influence your thinking about war or even the military?
It gave me a different perspective since I was wounded in battle. It gave me a different perspective on what war is all about. It's not only the ones that lose their lives, it's the ones come back that are injured and have to deal with the injuries for the rest of their lives. And it's a total commitment on their part. The finality of death, but yet the wounded that come back have to live with that the rest of their life.
Yeah. And while we're at it, there's a lot of political things going on with the war. Did that reach you guys overseas? Did you feel any of that? Hear any of that?
While I was in Vietnam, no, but it had reached a peak for me before I went to Vietnam because there was a lot of dissension before I even went, and I followed a lot of it in the news and stuff like that, and had some opinions about what to do. But when I was drafted, a lot of that changed. I put my whole energy into the military at that point, so it changed to that point. But no, it changed some of the respects of, you know, what war is and where you're headed, but it's quite different.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add? Anything you think we should know about, or any stories?
Nope.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. It was great.
You got it all on tape now.
I've got it all.
Okay.